Hi, kindergartners. It's Mrs. Porzi from School 33 coming to bring you a new foundations lesson for this week. Today, we'll be learning the concept several. Even though you're not in your normal classroom setting, I want you to work on your learning targets with the adults and maybe your siblings, like older brothers and sisters, that are in your home. So let's go over some of those important learning targets. I can answer questions about a text. We'll definitely be reading a text today. It'll be a Brennan story about grocery shopping. I can have conversations with others, and I hope you're doing that with the people you have at home. I can use words correctly when I speak, and I can figure out how word meanings are related. And we're going to be doing a lot of that in our story today, talking about the words in our story. So let's go to our daily routine, what we typically do, our visual schedule, and review. So the first thing we're going to do is actually go over and review some of the signs that we've been learning over the past few weeks. The very next activity will be reading our Brennan Bear story, followed by answering questions about the story, and then the last thing we'll do is an activity related to the concept of several at the very end. So let's review, meaning to go back look at again, some of the signs that we've been learning. So let's take a look at the sign for other. Let's watch her do that, and I'm going to move this up, I think, so I can get this out of your way. All right, let's repeat that so you can see it. Other. See how she takes her thumb and just kind of tips it away from her body. Let's do that again. Other. So you should remember that from a few weeks ago when we were still in school. This is going to be the sign for row. So do you see the dots are in a row? So we have, here's the first row going across left to right. Here's the second row, and there's the third row. So let's take a peek at that sign. Yep, so in a row. Do you remember we did things in a row? We lined up on the carpet in a row. Let's play it again. We played games in a row. Maybe you jumped on things in a row. In a row. Let's take a look at the next sign. First, so there's that engine car in our train is the first one in that line of trains. Let's take a look at this one. All right, so what she does with this sign, we'll slow it down so you can see and repeat it. She takes that index finger, that pointer finger, and kind of wraps it around to tap on the opposite thumb. That's the sign for first. Let's do the sign for next, that middle train car. It's coming after the first one. It's next in line. Next. Let's slow this one down so you can see it better. She has both hands facing her body. The one that's closest to her body jumps over that other one and goes forward. She's going on to the next thing. Now the last car in our set of train cars is the caboose. He's at the end. Let's see what last looks like. So that's a pretty easy one. That wasn't hard at all. Let's look at it again. Two pinkies that tap each other at the tip, and those are the last fingers on your hand. Is your pinky. Pinky finger is the last pinky, so the two of them tap each other for the sign for last. And now let's look at the sign for before. So here we are today. Yesterday was before today. All right, let's take a good look at this one. We'll slow it down. So she has one hand closest to her body facing her body, and the other hand that's in front is palm out. That hand that's facing her moves backward toward her. It starts at the back of that hand that's facing out and moves backward toward her. It's going before the one that's in front. Now, if we look at after, we see on our little calendar here that here's the day we say we're on, and then the arrow points to going down further in the calendar to the next and the next and the next day. Those are the days that come after the day we're in right now. So whatever day you're watching this, tomorrow will be after. Let's look at the sign for after. Oops. Let's get rid of this and show that again. So now her hands are both facing her body. The palms are facing her body, one in front of the other. And that hand that's in front actually pushes out further. That's the sign for after. And now let's look at our newest sign, the sign for several. So I want to show you something, boys and girls. I'm going to take my highlighter in green. In our story, you'll be seeing some words that are highlighted in green and some that are highlighted in yellow. If they're highlighted in green, it's going to be the word several. And when you see that and hear that, I want you to sign your newest sign for several. Other words will be highlighted in yellow. And those are words we'll talk about maybe because they are a multiple meaning word. They might mean more than one thing. Or maybe we'll just give you the definition. What does it mean in case you don't know? Or maybe even the opposite. Let's take a look at our sign for several. Oh, let's watch that one again. So let's slow this one down. Almost looks like the sign for few, except she's fanning out all those fingers in her hand. 4 of them that are kind of touching her thumb at first, and then she says 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the sign for several. So that's the sign I want you to be using whenever you hear me say the word several and when you see it highlighted. So before we start our story, let's talk about the story a little bit. It's going to be a story about Brennan helping his mom with grocery shopping. That's a really helpful thing to do, to go grocery shopping with your mom. But there are lots of other helpful things you can do around your house that are called chores, things that make life easier for everybody else. So think for a minute. I'm going to give you 10 seconds actually to think about chores or helpful things that you do around the house. Now share that with somebody sitting next to you. Tell them some of the things that you do around the house. It might be taking out the garbage. It could be clearing off the tables after dinner, picking the plates off, or throwing scraps away in the garbage. Maybe you even feed a pet that you have at your house, or sweep the floor for your mom. Lots of ways to help around the house. So the title of our story today is Brennan Goes to the Grocery Store. So a grocery store is where you buy food. And sometimes they have other things too. You might shop at Aldi. You might shop at Wegmans. Or maybe you go to Price Right or another store like Tops. Places where you can buy your weekly food. So let's take a look at our story and be thinking about the words that are highlighted. We'll go over those after I read. And also, when you see the green highlighted word several, then I want you to practice your sign. Brennan's mom always fixed healthy meals for their family. Now, fixed means that she put it together as far as cooking it and preparing it and serving it. She would fix the meals. It was her responsibility, and she did that with healthy foods. But fix can also mean to repair something that's broken. Like if your bike had a flat tire, maybe your dad could fix it. Maybe your grandpa could fix it. If you knock a lamp over and you break it, you might be able to use glue to fix it, so to put it back together. But in our sentence here, Brennan's mom always fixed healthy meals for their family. It means that she prepared and cooked them. Brennan liked to go to the grocery store to get the food she needed. His mom helped Brennan by dividing the shopping list into 4 food groups: fruits and vegetables, milk and cheese, meat and fish, and breads and cereals. So dividing means that she broke it up into parts or sections. It made it easier for Brennan to remember and also to get and collect and put in their basket. Brennan was all ready to go to the grocery store. He knew what he had to get. Look at this well-balanced meal. Things from all the food groups, the 4 food groups that Mom divided her list into. When Brennan got to the grocery store, he wheeled his cart into the fruits and vegetables section. He needed some vegetables for a salad. He needed lettuce, a pepper, and several tomatoes. Let me see you do that sign for several. He picked up 2 tomatoes, but that wasn't enough. He put a few more into his cart. There, that made several tomatoes. Next, he had to pick up several apples for a fruit salad. 1, 2, 3, 4 apples. That made several. Sign that word, several. Several apples. He also picked out 1 banana and 1 pineapple for the fruit salad. That's going to be yummy. The next section was the dairy section. Brennan knew he could find milk and cheese here. He needed 1 gallon of milk and several kinds of cheese. He picked out 1, 2, 3, 4, several kinds of cheese. He then put the milk and cheese in his cart and also got some chocolate ice cream for dessert. Oh, that's my favorite. The third section he went to was the meat and fish section. He had to buy several chicken drumsticks. Let's talk about the word drumsticks. So when you're buying chicken drumsticks, that means the legs of the chicken legs. But drumstick can also mean a wooden stick that you use to beat on a drum. He picked out 3 or 4 that looked delicious, meaning they look so yummy. Oops, he almost forgot the hamburger for tomorrow's supper. Uh-oh. Supper is the same as dinner. So another word for that meal that you have in the evening is dinner. Dinner or supper. The last section Brennan went to was the breads and cereals section. His mom had asked him to get 1 loaf of wheat bread and several rolls. So let me see you sign several. He got several rolls, but he got 1 loaf of wheat bread. So a loaf of bread is a group of bread pieces put into one package or one group. That's a loaf. But loaf can also mean to lay around and kind of do nothing and be lazy. So I hope you're not loafing around at home all the time and that you're doing some schoolwork, because we've been out of school for a long time and you can't just loaf around every day. He also got to pick out a box of his favorite cereal. That's a treat. Brennan took his cart to the checkout counter and paid the cashier with the money his mom had given him. "Boy," said the cashier, "your family sure eats healthy foods, something from every food group." Now here we see a man buying groceries just like Brennan did. He's not the cashier, he's the customer. The cashier is this person that's wearing the apron, and she's the one, or he, if it's a boy, man, could be the person that you pay at the counter where you check out where the cash register is. That's the cashier. Let's make some text to self connections. That means, what can we connect with that we read about in our story? I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think about ways that you can make a connection to our story. So how did you connect to the story about Brennan going grocery shopping with his mom? Is that something you do? Do you ever get to give the cashier the money? Or maybe your mom lets you keep the change, like the pennies and nickels and dimes. Maybe you put them in a piggy bank. Do you get to pick out your favorite cereal? Or maybe decide what the family will have for dessert? All of those ways are ways that you can make a connection with the story. Maybe those are some of the ways that you thought of too. Let's go to our questions. What kind of meals did Brennan's mom fix? Do you remember what it said in the story? That's right. She fixed healthy meals. So that means that she would have included some of the things we see on this plate. So fruits and vegetables, for sure. Dairy products, poultry, fish, meat, and breads and cereals. But I'm thinking not the candy. That wouldn't be healthy. How did Brennan's mom divide up the shopping list? Do you remember what we said about divide, to break something into parts? That's right. She broke it up into 4 food groups. Let's see. Yes, fruits and vegetables. Yep, I agree with that. And I do remember her having things like dairy on the list. Let's see. There were also breads and cereals, for sure, and fish and poultry and meat, but did she have a candy section on her grocery list? I don't think so. That wouldn't be very healthy. So what are the 4 food groups? This is a little confusing. I see 5. Let's count them. Start on the top left. 1, 2, 3. Now go down to the row below that, left to right. 4, 5. There are 5 pictures, 4 food groups. Let's see what they are. There's dairy, vegetables, fruits, grains, and proteins. We might have to combine or put together 2 of these groups to make it 4 food groups. Do you remember which 2 groups go together? I'll give you a second to think. That's right. Vegetables and fruits are one group, the fruit and vegetable group. That's in the produce section at the store. Let's talk about those fruits and vegetables for a minute. What did Brennan get in that section? Let's go to our blue rectangles. Behind those are going to be fruits. Do you remember some of the fruits that Brennan got at the grocery store? He wanted to make a fruit salad. Let's see, what did he use? Apples. I like apples. They come in different colors too. Oh yes, pineapples, so tasty. Let's go over to the far right. Oh, bananas. Monkeys love those, and so do I. Let's look at our vegetables. He wanted to make a salad too. What do we need to make a salad? I'm going to go to the far right. We definitely need lettuce to make a salad. What could we add? What did Brennan add? Oh, tomatoes. And did you know that tomatoes come in different colors too, like yellow, orange, and red? Even green. And they're ripe, green tomatoes, some of them. Oh, and the same kind of colors can be found with our peppers, red and yellow and green. Kind of like our apples. Look at how colorful healthy foods are. It's so good for you. You should always look to put colorful food on your plate. Let's talk about what Brennan got in the milk and cheese section. Let's go to the smallest rectangle. Oh, that's right. He got that yummy chocolate ice cream. Not very healthy. This one's a vertical triangle. It goes up and down. Oh, there's the milk. And in this horizontally laid out rectangle, there's something else that he found in the milk and cheese section. Do you remember? That's right, several kinds of cheeses. I hope you're signing the word several. Let's think. What did Brennan get in the meat and fish section? Drumsticks. No, not the kind that you bang on a drum with. Chicken legs. Oh, and the hamburger meat. Do you remember when they wanted to use that hamburger meat? Was it for tonight's dinner? No, tomorrow night's supper. Supper and dinner. It's almost the same. It's that evening meal. Let's think about what Brennan got in the bread and cereal section. On the top, we see rolls. That belongs in the bread and cereal section. This picture in the middle reveals, oh, loaves of bread. And then this bottom right one shows cereal. He got to pick out his favorite cereal. Now, who did Brennan pay for the groceries? Let's see. Here are some community helpers. We have a cashier. We have a doctor. On the left is a basketball player. And a teacher. Who did he pay for groceries, though? Now, if I went to get medicine or get a checkup and I went to the doctor for that, I would probably have to pay him or her for that. But there's that buzzer. I do not pay the doctor for my groceries. And I certainly don't pay a basketball player. And we don't pay our teachers for groceries. Boys and girls, who do we pay for groceries? Yes, the cashier at the grocery store. Let's name some other foods that are found in the fruit and vegetable section. Oh, look at all the colorful food. Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Let's see. Let's start at the top of our picture. On the top left, grapes, purple grapes. And right next to that, I see plums, also purple. Those are kinds of fruit. But right next to that is a vegetable, cauliflower. Oh, that's one of my favorites. And to the right of the cauliflower, another fruit, pears. Now, if we go below that whole section, let's choose a different color. That's hard to see. I think it might be oh, it's a lemon. That's a fruit. And here's one cluster or bunch of broccoli, and I'll circle the other ones too. That's another one of my favorite vegetables. Over here in a shape of a triangle is a wedge of watermelon. I think this one's an apple. And right next to that, to the right, a vegetable, mushrooms. And then next to that, further to the right, on the side of the paper, is strawberries. Another really, really yummy fruit. Let's pick a new color. Here's some other ones. Oranges, fruits. Let's find another fruit. Kiwi, and then green grapes. Did you know that when grapes dry out in the sun, they turn into raisins? Interesting. And here I see a peach, and right here, one of my favorite summer vegetables, corn. So lots of really cool stuff, friends. So many things that are good for you to eat. Which food group out of the four has yogurt, cottage cheese, and butter in it? The word tells you right here. Dairy. Yes. Dairy foods are things like yogurt, cottage cheese, butter, even ice cream. Once again, one of my favorites. Great job on answering questions. So friends, now we're going to do our activity. Let's see if I can move this down so it's not in our way. Okay. So we're going to do an activity with grocery shopping bags that are divided into 4 sections. So on the top left is section number 1, top right, section number 2, bottom left, section number 3, bottom right, section number 4. And in each section, there are different kinds of foods that we're going to bag in our grocery bags. So let's listen and follow directions, and we're going to also be focusing on several, the concept that we were learning today. So let's look at section 1. First direction says put 2 red apples in the top bag and 1 in the bottom bag. 2 red in the top bag. 1, 2. And then how many in the bottom bag? Oh, just 1. Our next direction says to put an orange inside the top bag. There goes an orange, but nothing in the bottom bag. None. Just 1 in the top bag. How about the corn? 2 ears of corn in the top bag and 1 in the bottom bag. Ooh, 2 and 1 again. So 2 ears of corn. Isn't that silly that it's called ears? Not like the ears on your head. It's the cob of corn. And how many again? Oh, that's right. Just 1 in the bottom bag. Wow. Now it says circle the bag with several kinds of fruits and vegetables. Circle the bag with several kinds of fruits and vegetables. Well, I see 2 here. That's not several. Let's count how many we have up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's definitely several. So let's get out our pen and we can circle that. That bag has several fruits and vegetables. Let's go on to section 2. Our first direction says, put 4 cartons of milk in the bottom bag. Whoa, that's a lot of milk. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a ton of milk. That must be a big family. Now put 1 yellow slice of cheese in the bottom bag and several pieces of cheese in the top bag. 1 in the bottom bag and several in the top bag. Several. Would this be several? No. Is 2 several? No. Pretty sure that's not several. I'm going to put 4. That's more than just 1 or 2. That's several. So let me move that over. Okay, several in the top. Now I need 1 carton of ice cream in each bag. So that means 1 goes on the top and 1 on the bottom. And there's my favorite, chocolate. Yummy. Now it says we should circle the bag that has several cartons of milk. Circle the bag that has several cartons of milk. Well, I don't see any cartons of milk up here, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4. That is several in this bottom bag. Oops, stay right there, friend. Let me get my pen out and circle this one because, oh, why does that not want to work? Hello. Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. So yes, there are several cartons of milk. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go down to section 3 and see what our directions are here. Put 2 hamburgers in the top bag. Oh, there's a hamburger. 1, 2. Now put 1 hot dog in the bottom bag and 1 in the top bag. Oh, so each bag gets 1 hot dog. Let me move that up here maybe and move my burgers down here. Might be easier to see. Okay, that makes sense. Now, 2 pieces of fish in the top bag. Oh, fish. That's very good for you. Let's put 2 pieces of fish in the top bag. 1, 2. Circle the bag with several kinds of meat and fish. Circle the bag with several kinds of meat and fish. Well, here I only see 1 kind of meat. That's not several. But here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of meat and fish. That's several. Let's go to section 4. This says put 4 boxes of cereal in the bottom bag and 1 in the top bag. Oh, maybe that's going to that same family that has lots of people in it. 4, 2, 3, 4 in the bottom bag and 1 in the top bag. Now put 1 loaf of bread inside the top bag. Well, here I see a loaf of bread. I'll put 1 in the top bag. Now it says put several rolls in the bottom bag. Several. Well, I already know that's not 1, and it's not 2. Maybe 4 or 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a big family after all. Circle the bag with several boxes of cereal. Well, I see several boxes of cereal and several rolls. So for sure I know I can circle that one. Here we go. That bottom bag has several boxes of cereal. Cool. Now it says put your favorite dessert in the middle of the page. Oh, I don't even have to think about that. Chocolate ice cream, definitely. Wow, you guys did such a good job today. Did we answer questions about our text? Yes, sir. Did we have conversations with others? Well, I hope you're having conversations at home about your concept of several. Using words correctly and figuring out word meanings. We talked a lot about different kinds of words, words that have more than one meaning. We talked about opposites of words, definitions of words, and for sure we learned the word several today. You guys did fantastic. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful day.